Hello and welcome to Clay Pigeon Raceway in Dorchester for round 5 of the Pass Me Fast Ultimate Karting Championship. This is our penultimate round of the season, and come Sunday night we may have some drivers who mathematically can't be caught before the final round at Rowrah later this year. And when we look back at last time out, round 4 at Three Sisters in Wigan, well, those wet tyres were put to the side once again as the track stayed fast and dry till well after Sunday's Super Finals.
Now diving through at a very tricky position, and up goes Emerson McAndrew. Well, and there's the move from Rennie. Dives through on the inside of Philip Rawson, and it's a dominant run for Kai Hunter at Three Sisters, and he is absolutely ecstatic. It's now or never for Theo Bradshaw. He knows how tough this is going to be. Here's the opportunity. He's through, and so too is Thompson. Oh, big problem, and off goes Finn Leslie. Freddie Ingram takes the win at Three Sisters. Ollie Thompson in the box seat for the whole of the final lap. He's going to get there first. Ollie Thompson gets the victory as 3 drivers are covered by 48 thousandths of a second.
Well, Three Sisters wasn't sure on racing action, and it'll be the same here at Clay Pigeon this weekend, where there's been a racetrack on the site since the early 1960s, and they've hosted, well, many races and championships ever since. It's also been the proving ground for lots of youngsters starting out and continuing their motorsport journeys. None more notable than 2009 Formula One world champ Jenson Button and current F1 star Lando Norris, who both started their careers here. It's a fantastic circuit, so let's take a look around. So let's take a look at a lap of the circuit as we ride on board with Thomas Hill at Zipkart, who's doing fantastically well in Mini Inter this season, chasing a podium position in the overall standings. Crossing the start-finish line then into the left-hand kink that will lead you into Billy's Blind. It is a fast section. Go in too fast though and you'll be running wide. Get it right and it's your first overtaking opportunity. Out of there and you're through the S's, a right then left that you can take almost flat. Up the hill you go then, keep on the accelerator, now you're braking downhill through that hairpin. Into the inside section that is the horseshoe, a double apex left-hander. Again, get this one right and you set yourself up nicely for the right-hander, which then leads you into Top Bend. We're already there. That is a lap of the circuit. Through Top Bend, run it wide, keep your wheels on the right side of the white line, and you cross the start-finish line ready to go again. Thanks, Thomas.
Time to look back at the round 4 Super Finals now and what that's done to the championship tables overall, and we're starting with Honda Cadet. Lining up on pole was Theo Bradshaw, and alongside him on the front row of the grid was Ryan White of LM Motorsport, who was leading the championship coming into the weekend, and Ryan got himself ahead early in the race and stayed there, creating a train with Theo Bradshaw and Ollie Thompson behind him, bumpers glued together lap after lap until the final couple of corners. Bradshaw made a move as White ran wide and Thompson followed, and then he himself made a bold move, and suddenly the race order with seconds to go was Thompson, Bradshaw, White, and that's how it stayed as they crossed the line. Coming home in 4th and winning in the 900s class was Blair Smith, having started in 7th, and the 900 class championship leader Ralphie Branscombe got himself up to 7th, having started 10th. So the championship table now has our 3 main contenders in the order of White leading, Bradshaw 2nd and Thompson 3rd. Lining up on the front row of the grid in Mini Inter were our 2 championship contenders, Charlie Wolfett of Synergy Racing and Jacob Ashcroft of DHR. Wolfett having had the stronger route to the final with 2 heat wins and the superheat win earlier in the day. As the race got underway, Wolfett put himself out in front and stayed there while the battles went on behind. The pressure being led by Jacob Ashcroft with Dan Minto and Thomas Hill following. Thomas Hill of Zipkart having had his best results of any weekend to that point, with consistent 3rd places in 3 out of 4 of the heats, including the superheat. At the line it was a runaway victory for Wolfett with Ashcroft in 2nd and Minto in 3rd. However, after failing scrutineering, Wolfett was DQ'd, and so that promoted the others all up 1 spot and gave Hill another 3rd place for the weekend. The championship table now has Ashcroft in 1st on 543 points, Wolfett still in 2nd on 499, just 44 points adrift, and Minto in 3rd on 462. In the Micromax Super Final, it was a who's who of championship contenders lining up on the front 2 rows of the grid, with Edward Haynes on pole and then Cian Bernard, Emerson McAndrew and Theo Bradshaw. The race got underway, and while some drivers further back got tied up with each other and were running wide, Haynes made the best start off pole and maximised his lead, while McAndrew and Bradshaw held their positions. Bernard, however, dropped back to 6th or 7th in the early stages. Riley Murrow, who'd started in 5th, then got himself in the mix with the lead group and began pressuring McAndrew, ultimately passing him and taking Bernard with him as they both moved up the order. But the action didn't stop there, as a few corners later, McAndrew and Murrow had a coming together and both went off, tumbling down the order as they did so. This left Haynes way out in front, Bernard in clear air chasing, and a battle for 3rd being played out between Bradshaw and Sebastian Leusch, which at the line Bradshaw made the better of, with Bernard staying in 2nd and Edward Haynes of RCE taking a commanding win. 51 drivers were entered in Junior Rotax, and once again they were competing for only 34 places on the grid for the Super Final. Jack Hobson of Ultimate R had won 2 out of 3 of his heats, and so had KR Sports' Freddie Ingram, and they were the 2 drivers who lined up on the front row of the grid. Behind them though, there were 32 others, all looking to make a name for themselves and entertain the crowds in the process, and oh boy, they didn't disappoint. What followed was one of the most exciting Super Finals I think we've ever seen in Junior Rotax, and maybe UKC. That included Freddie Ingram getting bumped down to 13th after an incident, Lizzie Mentier driving the wheels off her kart, keeping the JDR team in sight of the podium throughout, and Ollie Stevens of DHR leading for a large part of the race, only to be involved in a racing incident that knocked him off the track and finding himself only able to salvage 7th at the line. So at the checkered flag, it was a KR Sport lockout, with Ingram, Buttle and West taking the top 3 spots. Although sadly for Archie Buttle, a post-race 5-second penalty saw him drop to 14th, moving Jack West up to 2nd and Lizzie Mentier up to 3rd, also taking the fastest lap and the Circuit Watch's Driver of the Weekend award in the process. What a weekend for Lizzie! Senior Rotax this season has been led from the front by Kai Hunter of DHR, and at round 4 at Three Sisters, once again it wasn't plain sailing for him. In the heats he managed a 6th and 2 first places, and in the super heat he got caught up in some robust racing and crossed the line back in 5th. Once the super final was underway though, Hunter led for most of it, and with Pearson Bullock Carter just behind on his rear bumper by only a few tenths, with the biggest battles being further down the order, including the challenge for 3rd between Phil Rawson and Tristan Rennie, which went on for lap after lap. In the finish at the checkered flag, it was a comfortable win though for Hunter, with clear air between him and Bullock Carter in 2nd, which was his first UKC podium this season, and then Rennie in 3rd, exactly as he was in the round before at Warden Law. This class has plenty of racing still to go, and I for one can't wait.
Well, we start our programme then with Micromax. We're at round 4. It was RCE driver Edward Haynes who had a fantastic weekend, taking 5 out of 6 wins, including the all-important Super Final, which he won in impressive fashion. We caught up with him earlier to ask if he thinks he can do it again this weekend.
I'm Edward Haynes, number 46, and in Micromax. Last round was fantastic for me. I won almost all the races apart from the first. So coming into this weekend, I am really confident. I think the thing which is going to make me win the championship is experience. Coming to Sunday, I'll be happy with a win in every single race.
Well, best of luck to Ed, although he might not have it all his own way this weekend, as you just know Emerson McAndrew will be coming back with a bit between his teeth, and Cian Bernard will be brimming with confidence as he really seems to have settled in with his new team, Zipkart.
Hi, my name is Cian Bernard. I race in Micromax Cadet and I'm number 82. So I had 3 sisters last round for round 4. Yeah, it was a very nice weekend. Of course, it was my birthday and it was my first time there. And again, I didn't know what to expect. I definitely had the pace to win, but Edward was just a little bit too far ahead. I was catching him so much, but I just needed a lap or 2, then I would have got him. But yeah, it was quite a good weekend. So it's changing conditions this weekend. So of course in the wet you have to change your lines, and the dry, just try and be as quick as possible. My expectations for this weekend is to win, like usual. I always want to win, so yeah. To beat Emerson, I have to obviously push as hard as I can, but I'm not thinking to beat him, I'm thinking about to win the championship.
I'm Emerson McKenzie Wren, I'm kart 33 and I race in Micromax. So last round at Wigan, we were off to quite a good start, made up a couple of positions. Going into like the 3rd lap, we were side by side in the chicane. We collided, I went over the curb and went in the wall. Well, the plan to come into this weekend is we're going to get as far forward as possible and just get loads of possessions and hopefully finish first and get a clean sweep. My overtaking zones will be probably the hairpin, turn 2. I like to overtake where I can, basically. Being part of DHL is great because they help me with data track walks, and my dad helps me and mechanics and car. At the end of this weekend, I'll be happy with P1.
Well, best of luck to all of them. Let's see how they get on as we go and join your race commentator on this one. For Micromax, it's Jake Sanson.
So let's go racing. This is going to be a very exciting tussle for Kian Bernard from pole position. Can he hold it? Away we go. Here at Clay Pigeon, the last race of the day, the super final, and it's already a big battle to the first corner. A big squeeze from both McAndrew and Kian Bernard. And as they work their way through the first couple of corners, this is going to be a very tight race battle in Micromax in the super final. So the drivers are already duking away for position. The top in, it's a very close battle for the lead between Bernard and McAndrew. Jensen Chalk trying to get in there as well. Up the inside in his second position, I believe. Chalk has got through. So already we have a very ferocious start to this race, but up in front it is Kian Bernard with Emerson McAndrew working his way back in his second position. Jensen Chalk has actually had a difficult start. Riley Murrow up in a fourth position, I do believe. Yes, in behind Theo Bradshaw, so it's Jensen Chalk in fifth. But look at Kian Bernard having to go ultra defensive to keep Emerson McAndrew at bay. And Theo Bradshaw now in third from Murrow, Chalk, Haynes, Lush, Oman, Stafford and Davidson. Trying to battle, and up the inside is that McAndrew going for the lead on Bernard. I think he got through. So as we follow the tail end of the field, the drivers working their way through. I think McAndrew managed to get through, but there's a retaliation from Bernard. So they are mixing it for the lead. There's three drivers now in that hunt for the victory, but it is Emerson McAndrew in front. And here comes Kian Bernard back for more. Theo Bradshaw and Riley Murrow want a piece of this. They come across the line together, 0.3 of a second, covering the top four carts. Chalk is in fifth, Haynes in second, and run wide. McAndrew drops to fourth position. Here comes the chance from Murrow on the inside of Bradshaw. He can't get through for second place, but Bernard hits the front from Bradshaw, Murrow, McAndrew, Chalk and Haynes. Excellent racing. Ed Haynes gets the fastest lap of the race. And don't forget, Ed Haynes is looking to lead the Drivers' Championship at the end of this one. It's not been the perfect weekend for him, but a decent finish will still cement him in the lead of the championship, heading to the season finale at Rowra in Cumbria. Out of the final bend. Still going strong up at the front end of the field. This is an absolute terrific dogfight. Great racing as the top four have now stretched themselves a little bit more comfortable up at the front end of the field. You get so many overtakes in Micromax. It is the perfect race to end a thrilling Pass Me Fast Ultimate Karting Championship weekend here in Clay Pigeon. Up the inside, and McAndrew bounces back to third, gets on the inside of Riley Murrow. That's really nicely handled then from Emerson McAndrew. Bounces back in style, underneath the 82 of Kian Bernard, and still giving chase. So an opportunity. This is very close stuff. Theo Bradshaw now with a lot of pressure up to the first corner, diving through into turn one. McAndrew thought he had himself alongside there and has held himself up. There goes Murrow through into third place once more. So Bernard your leader, then Bradshaw, Murrow, McAndrew, Chalk and Sebastian Lush. 6 carts, less than a second at the line. And then in 7th position, a little bit of a tussle going on as well. So everywhere you look, here at Clay Pigeon, there are drivers mixing it wheel to wheel in Micromax. A perfect start to proceedings. There is Drew Davidson, all over the back of the 16 of Austin Oman. They are 8th and 9th, these two. Oman in 8th at the moment. Davidson in 9th, still trying to work his way forward. But you've got to stay patient. You've got to stay hungry in these races. Ed Haynes is in 7th position, would you believe? And Haynes has just got to be careful in 7th place. Stay on the track. Look after the tyres. Look after the brakes. Don't overwork the car. The top 6 are still going to be battling. So Ed Haynes has a chance to move himself up from 7th position just by staying patient. Riley Murrow bangs in the fastest lap, then goes wheel to wheel with Theo Bradshaw. Bail out of that one, Riley. Nicely done. He knows he's going to get another opportunity. He'll go for it in the final bend, though. And he's wheel to wheel. I think they very nearly rubbed wheels. McAndrew just sitting in behind them. Riley Murrow's going to go the long way round and into 2nd position. Beautiful from Murray, but he runs wide. McAndrew's going to go through. So Murrow loses out, down to 3rd position again. McAndrew up on his 2nd. Brilliant racecraft in Micromax with these karts being shorter in wheelbase and narrower. There's a lot more you can fit around the race circuit. McAndrew and Morrow, wheel to wheel, drifts wide. Up comes the 44 of Bradshaw. Nearly gets past both of them, then has to bail out of it through buttons. So Bernard, McAndrew, Morrow, Bradshaw down to fourth, falling into the clutches of Jensen Chalk, the O-plate. And Sebastian Lusch is in there in sixth position as well. And here comes Ed Haynes. That's why you've got to stay patient, because these six continuing to duel brings Ed Haynes back into contention. But Cian Bernard is trying to disappear up front. Stop racing each other, work together, get back on terms with Cian Bernard. But how hungry do you want to be? Do you want to be greedy and go for second place? Or do you want to wait, work with your opponent and catch back to the leader? This is like the marshmallow test in karting form. Do you want to wait for 2 marshmallows or go for 1 marshmallow now and risk not getting a second later? Off the final turn. Down the straight and over the line. Bernard. McAndrew. Here comes the move. Up the inside. Sliding for 4th position from Jensen Chalk, I believe that is. Trying to get through. No, that's Sebastian Lusch. Sebastian Lusch has moved his way past Chalk, but then drifted through and then drifted wide again. But now Riley Morrow has seen the script. He's seen the writing on the wall. He is trying to close up on the race leader, Cian Bernard, using Emerson McAndrew to do so. So second and third, they have held themselves up for long enough now. And by the way, Edward Haynes has got past Sebastian Lusch. So Haynes is now into 6th position. This is how he works his way forward. So if you're Riley Morrow, you sit behind Emerson McAndrew and you push yourselves through this air and you close up on Cian Bernard. That gap was a second. It's now down to 0.6 of a second. That's why you follow in formation. So is Riley Morrow going to make the overtaking move? Of course he's not. He's still got time to make up on Cian Bernard. 5.5 minutes to go in this race. Here comes Ed Haynes. He's got an opportunity now. He's going to draw level side by side with Theo Bradshaw. He's going to try and go the long way round as Jensen Chalk gets held up. And somehow Theo Bradshaw emerges in 4th position in front of the 3 of them. Excellent reading there from Theo Bradshaw. He read the duel perfectly. So he's up to 4th place. But they are dropping back from the trio up front. But look at that. That's why you don't overtake. Riley Morrow sits in 3rd behind Emerson McAndrew, and now suddenly they have caught Cian Bernard once more. And now look, the quartet, if they are smart, if they are sensible, they will not duel for position, and they don't into the hairpin. They know they can catch the trio up front. So they just sit in position, just wait, just wait. Push each other forward, yes. Work together, yes. Storm up to the guys in front, oh absolutely yes. So out of top bend. Still working together. They'll get the gestures from their mechanics that will tell them exactly what to do. Sit in formation. Keep pushing. Now, watch what Riley Morrow does here, because up the inside comes Emerson McAndrew. Riley Morrow's going to tuck in up the inside of both of them. And somehow McAndrew resists it. Cian Bernard comes through in the lead. Morrow drops onto the grass. Wow. Beautiful from Cian Bernard. He didn't panic at all. He just let it happen. And still he emerges in the lead in front of McAndrew and Morrow. But all 3 of them have lost a massive amount of time to the quartet behind of Bradshaw, Chalk, Haynes and Lusch. So again, the 4 behind just need to sit in the queue. Jensen Chalk is now down to the back of the queue, interestingly enough. So he's down to 7th in the O-plate. And Haynes is all of a sudden the head of that queue. He's up to 4th. He's read it well. He's taken it one at a time and got himself into 4th position. Now, if the top 3 battle again, all of a sudden, Ed Haynes is in the mix for the victory. And this is why you don't give up. This is why you don't quit. This is why, if the top 6 are clear, you just keep pushing. You just keep working. Because you know that eventually, when they start dueling away, you'll get your shot. And Ed Haynes has been so mature, so smart. He's now at the head of this quartet. But if they keep working together, they can catch the top 3 once more. And it's Bernard, McAndrew and Morrow. And yet again, they are nose to tail. This is an absolute mastercraft in karting racecraft. Up the inside comes McAndrew. Picks his moment and Cian Bernard gets through in the S's. We have a lead change. And Emerson McAndrew is at the front. But it's not done yet. Bernard is going to sell in the dummy into Hans Hairpin. McAndrew will get the switcheroo. Gets back into position. Morrow gets through as well. But he's going to have the left-hander. So now he'll drop not to 3rd, but to 4th. Because here comes Ed Haynes. He holds it round the outside though, and Morrow holds on. Haynes has got it, but off the road. Who was that got spat out? I think that might have been Sebastian Lusch. No, Lucia's come through. So has the O-Blade of Jensen Chalk. So I fear that's Theo Bradshaw getting spat out of the queue. Very unfortunate there for Theo Bradshaw. So easily done. But when you've got so many drivers mixing it for position, one of you's going to come a cropper. And I'm afraid it's Theo Bradshaw who's gone into the wall and out of the race. So tricky when you've got so many drivers battling for the same bit of racetrack. And Theo Bradshaw is apparently back in the kart again and still going. But I'm afraid he is down at the back now. So Jensen Chalk finds himself in 6th. There were 7 in the bed and the little one said roll over. And unfortunately, Theo Bradshaw fell out. Here they come again. Moved up the inside from Bernard. He takes the lead with 2 minutes to go. Excellent run. And here comes Riley Morrow, trying his best now to take on McAndrew. McAndrew sizes it up the inside of Hans Hairpin. That'll do nicely. Watch for Ed Haynes in 4th place. He can just sit there and read the race. They're going to go too wide into the hairpin. Kian Bernard trying to get the cut through. Up the inside. Takes on McAndrew. Squeezes him. McAndrew goes up in the air. They nearly bang wheels again on the exit. And McAndrew holds on in his 2nd place. They still duke for position, and Riley Morrow is going to get hung out to try. As up to 3rd place comes Sebastian Lush. So Sebastian Lush has worked his way into 3rd position. Beautiful from Lush. Now he gets the dive at the inside. Contact! McAndrew spins! McAndrew spins in the duel between him and Kian Bernard. And McAndrew gets spat out of the victory battle. You've got to feel for McAndrew, and all of that has given Riley Morrow a 2nd chance. He's up to 2nd place now. So Riley Morrow is in behind Kian Bernard. Sebastian Lush is there up the inside of Jensen Chalk again. And they're still side by side for 3rd. McAndrew has fallen away out of the battle for the victory with 35 seconds on the clock. Kian Bernard now has Riley Morrow charging after him. Ed Haynes finds himself in 5th position, a little way behind the quartet. Big slide up the inside from Lush, on the inside of Jensen Chalk, and they're still side by side. Can Lush hold it? Yes, he can. 3rd position for Sebastian Lush. Beautiful. And now Chalk will come back at him. Into 3rd position again in Hans Hairpin. Another lovely move from the O-Plate. So Sebastian Lush has got to regroup. Don't panic. Jensen Chalk's going to go ultra defensive. Here comes Lush. Back on the inside. Thank you very much. I'll take 3rd position again. And Ed Haynes is just sat there in 5th position, letting it happen. Time runs down to 0. So we've got 1 lap to go. Bring it home, boys. This is brilliant motorsport. Bernard and Morrow dueling for the win. And then these 3. Lush, Chalk and Haynes. And here comes the move from Morrow. Takes the lead. But Bernard comes straight back at him. In through the hairpin. Retakes the lead. Excellent racing. And for 3rd, Jensen Chalk gets up into 3rd position in front of Haynes and Lush. And up the inside again. That is Bernard retaking Morrow. Bernard blocking and defending for dear life. Riley Morrow has 1 more shot for my money. If he gets a good run through buttons, he can go for it into the pit bend. And Morrow is going to do it. He's going to try. He's going to get a decent exit off the turn. He can race into the line. Can Kian Bernard hold on for the victory? Morrow's going to pop out alongside him. It's going to be a straight drag race. And it's so close to the line. It's Bernard by 1/1000th of a second. You don't get closer than that. Haynes is 3rd from Chalk and Lush, Austin Oman, Drew Davidson, Emerson McAndrew, Dean Pahal and Stan Stafford. Absolutely incredible. Ed Haynes leads the championship with 20 points over Bernard and McAndrew. Bradshaw in 4th from Chalk. But that is not the story. 1/1000th of a second for the win between Bernard and Morrow.
Kian, another race and another win for you. You must be thrilled, but it went down to the wire. It looked like Riley had you on the line almost.
Yeah, I know. I should have held it in the inside, but it is what it is, and I won. So
That's exactly it. Talk us through your weekend. Yesterday in the heats we were in the wet, and you had a fantastic heat, learning to drive on some pretty tricky conditions.
yeah, well, in the wet I won every heat, but not the first heat. I got a nose cone, but yeah. So I guess I'm really good in the wet. So
Talk us through your super final just then, though, because you were in the lead and then you were in the mix and you were 2nd and you were 3rd. There was a lot going on in that race, but you held on till the end. How was it for you?
yeah, it was quite challenging, of course. Like, so many people batting for the lead. It's crazy how close it is. I love it. And yeah, it's just especially the UKC, I love it. It's so close. Loved battling. In the final it was good. The pre-final wasn't so good. There's a bit contact, but yeah.
So Riley, talk me through that race, because you were in the mix for all of it, and coming to the checkered flag, we thought you got it. I mean, it's fractions of a second. You've seen yourself end up in 2nd place, but you got a big smile on your face.
Yeah,
Well, Keane had a gap at one point, so I just pushed Emerson up. Emerson pulled a gap from Keane, so I just kept pushing. Then Emerson ended up spinning out, so then I think we gained a bit of a gap. So I just didn't go by until the final lap, so we kept that gap. And then from that, I thought I had it over the line, but I guess not. So.
Must have been so close. I think it's 0.001, so whatever that is, a 1,000th of a second, something like that. It couldn't have been closer.
Yeah, just wow.
Edward, talk me through that race. There was an awful lot going on, a lot of battling, and from where I was watching, like any one of you youngsters could have taken it, but you've ended up with yourself there in third place. Talk me through it, my friend.
So at the start, I got just stuck behind Chalk and then couldn't get by him. Then just got dropped and went to like 10th, and then somehow made it back up, but then Emerson crashed and I hit him, and then I dropped back again. I'm not really happy with it. I wanted to come here with a win.
Well, listen, it's great that you've got that kind of determination, the bit between your teeth. But like you just said, you dropped back on 2 occasions during that race, to about 10th, to about 6th, and you've ended up on the podium. So you've got to be able to take some positives from this.
Yeah, there are a couple, but not what I wanted. So.
Well, after those Micromax youngsters, we move on to some of our oldest drivers here for senior Rotax, which has been dominated by DHR's Kai Hunter. But there are also plenty of other talented drivers who are prepared to push him every step of the way, including Jax Motorsports' Pearson Bullock Carter, who's currently sitting second in the championship overall. We had a chat with him earlier to see what he thinks he can do with just 2 rounds to go.
I'm Pearson Bullock Carter, number 75. I'm racing senior Rotax. Yeah, last round at Wigan was really good. Finished P2 in the final. We had a good start and was on the back of the leader, but we dropped back at the end. But nevertheless, it's still a good podium for me and the team as well, and still good points for the championship. I think I'm going to do well this weekend. I'm really confident for the weekend coming up. I was quickest in practice yesterday, so we just see what happens today and tomorrow. Jax is one of the best teams on the grid in my opinion, and we've got Dodge here this weekend who's here most of the time. He sets the car brilliantly every weekend. Well, it'd be a difficult task beating car, but if I can gain the most amount of points than him this weekend, hopefully next round we can see what happens, how far the gap is, and hopefully beat him.
And what about privateer Tristan Rennie and Guy Cunnington's Phil Rawson, sitting 3rd and 4th respectively overall? Maybe they're thinking that this could be their weekend.
I'm Tristan Rennie. I race in senior Rotax and my number is number 5. Last round at Wigan we finished 3rd, gained a lot of good championship points, and now 3rd in the championship as well, only 2 points behind second, so a really good weekend in general. We're really confident here at Clay Pigeon, done a lot of racing around here over the years and a lot of testing, so yeah, we've done a lot of laps. Some of the challenges of being a privateer obviously are setting up the kart on our own. We don't have anyone to go to for help, but we've done this for quite a long time now, a lot of years, so we've wrote down quite a lot of the setups over the years and we're quite good at setting up, so we're pretty confident we'll get it right again. Come to the end of the weekend, I'll be happy with our top 3, just keep it consistent and keep ahead of Bullock Carter.
So best of luck to all of the senior Rotax drivers. Let's see what they can do as they line up on the grid. Here's your race commentator, Jake Sansom.
It's a big shuffle as we head to the first corner. Little bit of a tight squeeze for everybody. Phil Rawson trying to make the jump on Kai Hunter through turn 1, and there's problems in the pack as already we've got a couple of drivers tagging together. That is the 41, I'm afraid, of Angus Scrivener, who's already facing the wrong way. And a big dive up the inside from Rawson. That was absolute commitment. That was a big launch forward from, I think, that was Oakley Pryor. We'll double check it as they come through at the end of the lap, but that was a big slide. And certainly for someone like Oakley Pryor, who knows this place like it was his own back garden. Kai Hunter's got the opportunity up in the front end of the field, but certainly a big slide forward as the 66, in fact, of Oakley Pryor, it was him into second position. I thought it was. He's worked his way forward on Philip Rawson, who of course is fighting for second in the title fight. Big dive up the inside there on the second lap, from Stephen Duncan. And at the expense of the 157 of Will Antrobus, who had not had the best of starts from P4. So everybody's still trying to work their way forward. So everybody now in the mix as they come through. Kai Hunter in front of Oakley Pryor, Phil Rawson, Tristan Rennie, Alex Moody, Jack Lilly is in the mix there as well. So I think the two guys that actually got caught up were Scrivener and Lewis Halliday. So Scrivener has rejoined in 24th. Halliday is behind him. So already two big escapees from that front train of karts. And not the way they wanted to either. So Oakley Pryor now second in front of Rawson. And in fourth place, that is the privateer Tristan Rennie. Alex Moody, fifth position in front of Jack Lilly. Then Pearson Bullock Carter, Leo Purchase, Stephen Duncan in ninth. So again, the drone flies after the drivers flying through Billy's blind. And that's going to be a nice overtake into turn 2. Very nicely done indeed from the 80. And that's a very big charge forward from Matthew Lambert. So Lambert trying to work his way further forward up the order. That puts him into 16th place, getting the run on Jamie Tilson. So there is Tristan Rennie, all over the back of Philip Rawson. It looks as though the fight at Rowra is not going to be for the championship. It's going to be for second place in the standings, because if it finishes like this, and it looks likely to, Kai Hunter is going to take win number 17 in 2023 out of 25 starts for him. Oh, bit of a tangle there, as that really did caught out Leo Purchase, something chronic. So Purchase got caught out there big time. And that is now Jack Lilly through on Alex Moody. So Jack Lilly works his way forward into 5th position, then past Moody, but Leo Purchase lost a lot of ground in that one. Basically got squeezed and compressed through turn 2. This battle for second place still very rapid. Now, who's that slowing? Somebody having a really rough time on the main straight and going very slowly indeed. I think that's the 26 having a problem. So, it might be the 28 actually. No, it is the 26. It's Charlie Pritchard. So Pritchard... No, I was right the first time. Pritchard came through on the lap, so that is Macaulay Austin having problems, I'm afraid, on the BKC Racing Red Speed. So I'm afraid Charlie Pritchard really having a difficult race, but not as difficult as Macaulay Austin. So through they come on the far side. The 17 charging forward. That's Leo Purchase. Trying to get himself back into contention, having lost ground. And now we watch the racy 57 going past us. That's Isaac Lord having a dive up the inside. Nicely done, Isaac. That was a big launch forward there on the inside. And so he gets the overtaking move. Not a lot, really, that the 79 of Rafael Jesus can do about it. So Rafael Jesus is coming back at him. No, you don't. I've got this one, says Isaac. I know what I'm doing. Oh, he nearly lost it on the exit. Goodness me. And Rafael Jesus very nearly got an opportunity to come back through. But not for the time being. That is a complete lap of the Clay Pigeon circuit. It's pretty quick in these karts. 34 seconds is the average senior Rotax lap. You can get a lot of racing crowbarred into the time that we've got here. So Hunter is 9/10 of a second, and that is a retirement, I'm afraid, for Finn Smith. So Finn Smith retiring in the TH Corsa Red Speed. So that is game over, I'm afraid, for Finn Smith. He's worked very hard in this one, but I'm afraid it all goes terribly wrong for him as we follow the drivers through the rest of the field. And they join Jay Pearson, Thomas Wood and Lewis Halliday on the sidelines then, Finn Smith. It's not gone well at all. So still trying to work their magic, diving up the inside. This is a nice little battle progressing in the middle of the field. Our drone really is struggling to keep up. You've got to be on your A game. Rafael Jesus still having a very tricky race of it. Trying to work his way forward up to 13th behind Isaac Lord. But there is that battle for second still. Pryor, Rawson, Rennie. Then it's Lillian Duncan. And then Pearson Bullock Carter in front of Moody. And then it is George Hunter just inside the top 10 now in front of Leo Purchase and Will Antrobus, who is in 11th position. And Will Antrobus obviously started on the second row of the grid, so it's a frustrating race for him so far. So Antrobus is going to try and get his move back on Leo Purchase as the drivers continue to squabble away in position. Driving up to the hairpin. Great racing, but Kai Hunter is not pulling out any further than he needs. There's been an incident. I think two karts have come off the road there. Now it looks to me as though one of them is Purchase. So is that going to be Purchase and Antrobus? Have they come together? Because I think both drivers have come off the road. That's the Guy Cunnington racing machine of Leo Purchase. And the expert of Will Antrobus as well. Yep, there is Leo Purchase. Bitter disappointment. And Will Antrobus is off the road as well. So the two of them just came together. And all of a sudden, we only have 24 karts still running in this race. Well, actually, no, it's 23 because Macaulay Austin is out of the race as well. We know that. But Pearson is out. Wood is out. Halliday, Smith, Antrobus, Purchase and Macaulay Austin. So just 23 karts then, still running in this race. Hunter is only 7/10 ahead of Oakley Pryor, but he doesn't need to be much more ahead of him than that. Rawson in second, Rennie in third, and they're building up the gap in front of Lilly, Duncan and Bullock Carter. Hunter is 8th in front of Moody, Lord, Jesus, Lambert, Tilsted and Hughes. Angus Scrivener fighting his way back to 15th in front of Ramery and Ubi. And then we have Jack Bate in 17th, I should say. And then it is Guzzi, Nathan Guzzi in 18th position in front of Oliver Duffel. And then Charlie Pritchard, Frederick, Mitchell and Asa Pinder. 7 minutes to go. Kai Hunter trying to get away from Oakley Pryor, but you're not going to pull that much further ahead of someone of the skill and ability of Oakley Pryor. This is literally his home turf. And the Coles Racing driver is going to be working very hard indeed to close up on Kai Hunter. So there's not really a lot that Kai Hunter is going to be able to do to get away from Oakley Pryor. Pryor having forced the issue and worked his way forward into second place. So he's still trying to work his magic. Now, as they continue to battle away, I'm trying to keep an eye on the drivers in the top three, and I have a feeling Oakley Pryor's front fairing is looking a little bit shaky in second position. Now, I don't know whether he did that on the opening lap trying to surge his way through to second place, or whether he's hit a curb or whatever it might be. Of course, we might not know if he's got a front fairing penalty yet. Of course, if he has, then he's got to take a 5-second penalty. So very unfortunate. But you have to just try and get yourself through as much as physically possible in order to make it work. But hopefully, Oakley Pryor is going to be able to maintain that second position and have a go at Kai Hunter to try and steal the win away from him. This is a fabulous race circuit. Clay Pigeon really does bring out the best of the British kart racer. Yeah, it is looking a little bit flappy, isn't it, that front fairing of Pryor? We'll have to see how it continues in the remaining 5 minutes. But then, I say that, even Rennie's is looking a little bit flappy. Hopefully he hasn't got one. It's very tough to tell. The only way to really tell who has and who hasn't got a front fairing is when they come in after the race. And then you find out afterwards. So Hunter in front of Oakley Pryor, Philip Rawson and Tristan Rennie. Certainly looking pretty hungry, Oakley Pryor in second position in the Coles Racing machine. Doing a very solid run here. And certainly looking pretty quick. He's done a best lap of a 34.266. That's actually really comparable to what we've seen from Kai Hunter up in the front end of the field. So there's not much to choose between Hunter and Pryor in terms of lap time. Rawson in third. Tristan Rennie starting to fall away now in fourth position, I notice. As we watch the drivers battle away, that's a nice move up the inside line there from Bate. He gets through on Tilsted. So Jack Bate getting the move there on the inside of Jamie Tilsted. So that's definitely going to hamper his chances. But not for Jack Bate. He is trying to work himself back towards the top 10 as fast as he can. Not going to be easy to assert yourself in the closing phases of this one. Still 23 drivers in this race. And Kai Hunter is now not going to have too much of an issue because the guys behind are still about half a second back. This is getting to be a nice little battle though, isn't it? The 33 of Tilsted now trying to shake off Ramery and Ubi. So Ramery and Ubi hoping to make the move up on the inside. But Ubi is going to have to do a little bit more homework to get past someone of Jamie Tilson's calibre. Back to the start-finish straight. What a magnificent circuit. Still crazy to think that over 20 years ago, there was a young lad called Jensen Button racing around this circuit. Nearly 30 years ago, really now. Fabulous performance from the competitors. And there is the 29 of Rawson. We are right up in the hunt for the podium here. Rawson, of course, is fighting for second position in the Drivers' Championship in Senior Rotax in the Pass Me Fast Ultimate Karting Championship 2023. But he really wants to get into second position on track. He wants to have a go at Oakley Pryor. 3 minutes to go. But Oakley Pryor is hunting down our race leader and incumbent champion. What a season from Kai Hunter. He is seeking win number 17 in his 25th start of 2023. That is mad stats. And of course, if Kai Hunter wins this one, he will win his 4th final out of 5 starts. That is just astonishing performance from Kai Hunter as he continues his incredible run for the Dan Holland Racing team on the Lando Norris chassis. Still great battles everywhere you look in Senior Rotax. Big slide from Jack Lilly. He's got Stephen Duncan all over the back of him. Stephen Duncan is not going to relent on his Lando Norris kart. He's going to do everything he can to get back on terms with Jack Lilly, who is still working very hard indeed here for the Sam Pollitt Racing team. Still hoping to get his shot at the inside line. And there's a great tussle. This is George Hunter trying to take on the 75. Just in front of him, that is Pearson Bullock Carter. So Pearson Bullock Carter still hungry to try and move his way up through the field. Still good battles as we rage for position. Working our way through the closing stages. We've got stationary yellow flags out on the course. So that's one kart off to the side there. Is that the treble 7? Is that Sam Mitchell? I think that might even be Jamie Tilsett, actually. So yes, I think it's Jamie Tilsett who's in trouble. There is a black flag going out. Now that is fascinating. Who's got a black flag at this stage of the race? Well, certainly a very tricky situation then for the competitors out in this one. Not entirely sure who that is for. We'll try and get a reading on it, but certainly that looked to me like the black flag being waved. Meanwhile, the battle is still going strong for Hunter. You've got big pressure as up the inside. Isaac Lord goes for it. No, you don't. They're still side by side as they come up to buttons. That's great defending from George Hunter. But Isaac Lord is going to come back at him. Dives up the inside and he's going to carry Rafael Jesus with him as they go side by side. 40 seconds left as they go across the line this time by. Rafael Jesus is still all over the back of the number 23 of George Hunter as they duel for 8th position. Lord, Hunter and Jesus. So it looks like we've lost Tilsett and Mitchell. We've also lost Pearson Bullock Carter, actually. So Pearson Bullock Carter has come off the road somewhere. Not entirely sure what's happened to him, but certainly out of the race. But what a dramatic one this is. In the middle of the field, Hunter, Pryor and Rawson. Still the 3 of them going together. Trying his best to move forward, Oakley Pryor, in the hope that he can steal the win away from Kai Hunter. And we've run out of time. So we're on lap 25. This is going to go full 26 laps of racing. A long final. But this is Kai Hunter's moment in the sunshine here at Clay Pigeon. This is exactly how he wanted to end his 2023 season. He doesn't have a lot of pressure here. He's got a decent amount of gap between himself and Oakley Pryor, who is still there in 2nd position. Shielding away with Phil Rawson. Rawson wants a piece of him as he comes through on the final lap. And this is excellent for Phil Rawson. This puts him into the firing line for 2nd in the championship standings. But in front of him, Kai Hunter is about to win race number 17 out of 25 in 2023. And more importantly, super final number 4. This is an amazing charge through. What a season from Kai Hunter. He is the champion in Senior Rotax in 2023 in front of Oakley Pryor and Phil Rawson. But post-race, Pryor does get a front fairing penalty. Rawson in 2nd, then Rennie in 3rd ahead of Duncan. Oakley Pryor demoted to 5th, unfortunately, from Jack Lilly. And then Rafael Jesus is promoted to 7th in front of Alex Moody, Matthew Lambert and George Hunter after a penalty for Alex Moody. Wow. A very exciting battle then, all the way to the flag. But there's the confirmation. Kai Hunter is your champion for 2023.
So Tristan, crossed the line in 4th, but finding yourself in 3rd after the event, you must be thrilled.
Yeah, obviously we struggled to keep up with the front 3 there. We kind of fell back a bit, but we kept cool and tried to keep consistent, and that's all we could do, really.
There was a lot of incident going on in that race, a lot of it further back, but how did it play out for you up till that point, up to the checker flag?
I just kept my head forward, to be honest. Didn't really look behind. Just made sure that we were trying to get into the front 3 and was kind of hoping that there was just incidents behind that would kind of put me further forward. So
Phil, 2nd place on the day. Talk me through that one. An incident-packed race further back, but plain sailing for you out front?
Yeah, it was pretty plain sailing. Got a little bit of a bad start being on 2nd on the outside because it was a bit slower than normal, so I was trying my best not to jump the start because I was getting loaded from behind. But apart from that, got settled into third, and then just kept my head down from there and just trying to be consistent and pushed for the win, obviously, because we've been fast enough all weekend. But just wasn't to be today, unfortunately. But apart from that, it's really good championship points. 1 round left to go. Should have put me up to second now in the championship, so I'm happy with the result, yeah.
So Kai, it was a pretty eventful senior Rotax race there, but for yourself, business as usual, another win.
Yeah, I think I just had to get a good start because the start in the superheat didn't really go my way. Got shuffled back to P2, and it just makes the race so much harder from then on. So if you get a good start like I did, then I just had to maintain the lead. I did see them coming back at us in the middle of the race, which is like got me a little bit nervous. But I think at the end of the race, pressures came on, whatever you want to say, but I think I got the nice little gap, nice little cushion, just being able to maintain it, and I got the win again, yeah.
Well, that's it for our first instalment of action from round 5 of the Pass Me Fast Ultimate Karting Championship. 2 great races there in Micromax. What a finish. Cian Bernard took the win, but he was pushed hard, wasn't he? Riley Murrow just crossing the line in second by the closest of margins. And Edward Haynes, well, he came home in third, still leading the championship as we look to the final round at Rowrah in a couple of weekends' time. And then in senior Rotax, Kai Hunter extended his lead at the top of the championship table. Just behind him, Phil Rawson drove hard all weekend, and just behind him, another great podium for Tristan Rennie. There's lots to look forward to in the championship, and there's more to look forward to in the programme as well, because next time we'll be bringing you 3 more super finals. Until then, from all of us here though in Dorchester, see ya.